We spent 3 seasons talking about the Darksaber and how kick-ass it was. And I'm like, all right, we're going to use this Darksaber and we're going to stab Gideon.
Shut the fuck up! I broke it! This guy goes into his doctor's office. He's like, Doc, you gotta help me. My ass is killing me.
All right.
The doctor says, for fuck's sake. All right, where on your ass? Which part? He's like, like right there, right at the entrance. Doc says, if you keep referring to it as the entrance, it's always gonna hurt.
I personally like it when I go to my doctor and he looks at me and goes, oh, for fuck's sake.
Welcome to the Two Gaming Dudes, The Mandalorian.
Season finale.
Season 3, Season 3, Episode 8, Chapter 24, The Return.
Yeah.
Okay, I really liked this episode. I had problems.
Yeah, I had problems.
But, besides that we've been complaining this whole season that it's become this much bigger story, I've kind of grown to accept that. And then I had, there were a handful of sloppy, stupid plot holes that they really should have fucking thought through a bit more.
And as what seems to be happening often with live-action Star Wars, a lot of missed opportunities. Yeah. Like some shit that they could have done that would have been amazing,
yeah,
and they just didn't.
So, our heroes are back on Moff Gideon's base, which I really enjoyed that it looked like the Death Star.
Yeah.
I mean, just one look at the art direction and you immediately recognize that's Imperial stuff.
Yes.
Really cool. I was happy about that.
Okay.
And they're like, oh no, somebody has to go up there and tell the rest of the fleet we need reinforcements. So Axe is like, yeah, I'll jetpack up there. To space.
Yes, to outer space. Because sometimes those jetpacks will take you all the way to outer space. And he takes off like frickin' Iron Man.
I'll be back. Up in the wind.
Yeah. It's just that on Earth above 12,000 feet, you need an oxygen mask. You'll go into hypoxia and die.
Yeah.
And just like 4 episodes ago, we saw them running out of fuel with the jetpacks chasing a dragon.
Yeah.
But this one gets you
they could
66 miles into orbit, I guess.
They could barely go 2 miles. And they're like, oh, out of fuel. They come down.
But he's up there. He's wearing his helmet. And
I'm watching it with a 14-year-old, mind you. And even he looks at me and goes, that's a lot of fuel, isn't it?
And a lot of altitude.
Yes.
Whatever. Okay, fine.
Fine. Jetpacks now can fly into space.
He gets up there and he's like, oh no, everybody, get in the dropships because they need help down there. And then they do. They leave. And those TIE interceptors, a few seconds...
Show up, yeah.
My 14-year-old was like, why don't they just shoot down the dropships? I don't know.
Well, their instruments don't work in the goofy cloud thing. So the dropships went into the cloud, and then a few seconds later, the TIE interceptors came out of the cloud, so they didn't know. They just came out and saw the big ship and were like, I guess we blow that up.
Yeah.
It's not really putting up much of a fight, though.
Yeah. So, they figure out he's in the central control room, let's go get Moff Gideon. And then there's just a ridiculous Legend of Zelda thing where you gotta knock down the shields and fight 2 guys in the shield. Whatever.
I know why they did it. It's a hallway fight.
Yeah.
Cool. But they do it because that green screen that they have can only cover a certain area. Oh. So that's why you always have these condensed sets. So every time you see stuff and you're like when they run through the hallways and they're like, that's a tiny hallway. And then they have the fight and they're like, that's a different tiny hallway. It's because that green screen only covers so much.
I get it. So there's some technical... All right, when you do it easy way...
There are tech limitations to what they can do live action, but...
There used to be a time in Star Wars where you would build practical fucking sets. That's not how filmmaking is done anymore. Okay.
No, it is not. I actually enjoyed that hallway scene with the open the next door, because I kind of wanted... It was kind of cool to see Din show up as a badass.
Yeah.
Finally. And I kind of wanted him to just start banging on the next shield going, open up the next one so I can kill these 2 fuckers. And
there was a lot of Disney Plus, Marvel started this with the power engineering. Like, now he's weaker, now he's stronger. These enhanced Death Troopers, suddenly they're poussoirs. He just beat the hell out of 6 of them like they were school children. They're not really much of a threat, are they?
So you took just regular stormtroopers and you shoved them into fancier armor, but they're still stormtroopers, so they can't hit shit. And they don't know how to fight. They suck.
Except in the big battle, where we need all the Mandalorians to start losing and need reinforcements. They're badass in that one. All right, whatever. Okay. They get into the room and they find the cloning tanks, and it's clones of Moff Gideon.
I told you.
I
told you.
He's going to clone himself with the Force, and he wants to build a super army of clones.
I couldn't wait to see that. I was like, oh man, they got to come to life, and he's got to fight a bunch of naked dudes, and they're all going to be using the Force.
Yeah, but you can't do that because he'll lose. So what are we going to clone from our super army? Are we going to make them, like, in their mid-20s and jacked as fuck? No, let's get mid-60s Giancarlo Esposito as a frail little old man and clone that.
Let's clone a bunch of them. Can we hyper them all up to 60? Can they all be 60? Because there's nothing more terrifying than an army of 60-year-olds.
Nobody on his, shadow council was like, when the Kaminoans were doing it, they cloned them to be in their mid-20s in their physical prime and badasses. But I guess a frail little old man is good, too. Fuck ever. Okay, so they smash the clone tanks.
Yes.
And
they also smash any chance that you're going to see Din go up against Jedi-like creatures or whatever, Force users.
So they confront Gideon. Oh, there was one scene where Bo-Katan, I think, she thrusts the Darksaber through, and it pops out the chest of the Stormtrooper.
Yeah.
We've already established that Force weapon, it's the Darksaber. It's a kyber crystal weapon. It has difficulty going through Beskar steel. Except when we need it to look cool and pop through his chest. Sloppy. These are the tiny little sloppy things that I'm complaining about.
Why did that suddenly work? Because she was going very fast.
Whatever the reason. So they confront him, and they have to have a big karate fight.
The armorer flying and fighting with 2 huge metal hammers. Because, man, these lasers suck. We're all laser-proof. I'm just going to beat people to death with these hammers.
Right.
And once again, the 14-year-old's going her arms would be broken, wouldn't they, if she was swinging while flying? I mean, that just seems insane. And I said, yeah, but it looks cool. And that's all they cared about.
There's the problem. The fucking J.J. Abrams influence. Where it doesn't make any sense. That's true. But who gives a shit? It'll look cool on camera.
Yay! And you get a raise. And you get a raise.
Which is my biggest problem with what Star Trek has become, by the way. But that's a whole nother...
We'll get into that another day.
So they're having this big karate fight, and Gideon destroys the Darksaber. I don't know what that means. Can she now no longer be the ruler of Mandalore?
I don't know. We spent 3 seasons talking about the Darksaber and how kick-ass it was. And I'm like, all right, we're going to use this Darksaber, and we're going to stab Gideon.
Shut the fuck up! I broke it!
Why did we do all of this? Why didn't Din long ago going, this thing's kind of stupid, I can't even lift it, and wheek, and just throw it off the side of the... Because he didn't give a shit about it.
So, during the big climax of the fight, Axe now he's going to crash that Imperial cruiser that they've commandeered. He's going to crash it into the base and destroy the base. Mm-hmm. And he does, and Gideon gets all toasted and killed, and Grogu puts up a force bubble and protects them.
Yep.
Which is cool, because
I like that.
It's from the video game. It's from... Fallen Order, I believe, where you see the Force bubble for the first time. It was like, okay, cool. Whatever.
That was cool. And it was cool to see Grogu do a little...
Yes, do some shit.
Too. Yeah, that was fun. And I also really liked they had this huge battle going on, and, Bo-Katan and her big fight going on. But my favorite fight was watching Din and little baby Yoda fighting a bunch of...
Yeah, that was really fun.
I like that, and I like the fact that he would use the Force to give him that edge, and, was catching the guys. And
yeah, very cool. Even though it's been established that after a while of not using it, you lose your connection to the Force. Mm-hmm. But whatever. So they win. Yay! And the Mandalorians relight the Great Forge.
Yay!
And it made me think, this is kind of like the dog that catches the car and now doesn't know what to do with it. Because, all right, we've retaken the planet, and they look around and like, fuck, this place sucks!
Now what?
There ain't shit here! So they're like... Din is like, I want this little green guy to be an apprentice instead of a foundling. I'll adopt him. Okay. And then now he's an apprentice instead of a foundling.
There's no paperwork to file? You didn't... I'm good?
Fuck it.
I guess I'm good.
And then they go back to Carl Weathers. And he's like, hey, can I have that cabin you promised me? We're going to go live in a cabin and we'll work for the new empire, the new republic
Or
every
whatever
now and
the
then.
hell you guys are.
When something comes up.
And Carl Weathers is like, well, you got to take all my gym shit out of there. You didn't want it, so I made it a little home gym.
So they have their little home on the range, and the city of Navarro has their new sheriff.
Yeah.
And it's the IG-88 that they fixed.
Sure.
Because why not? Roll end credits. And scene. Mind blown.
Boom. Huge ending.
We saw the Mythosaur. I was sure that she was going to ride it, but
So was I.
They showed it to us, but she didn't ride it, which means we're going to see her ride it during Star Wars Avengers Endgame when they finally fight.
I was like, are they saving it for another season?
They're saving it for Grand Moff.
They're saving it for the movie.
They're saving it for Admiral Thrawn. And when all hope is lost, she shows up riding the Mythosaur and wins Avengers Endgame.
That just sounds stupid.
You know what's stupid? I'll tell you what's stupid.
Do tell me what's stupid.
They are doing... This sounds awful. You know, for the longest time, when people complained about the MCU, I was like, come on, shut the fuck. It's just stupid comic book stuff. But it's real now. They're sincerely
very much.
They're doing it with the new Star Wars shows.
Yeah.
Ahsoka is all about girl power. And The Acolyte is all about girl power.
Because the first ever Force wielder, the first Jedi in existence, has to be a girl. Has to. And of course it will be.
Except for the villains. The villains will all be white men, but...
Yes.
Whatever.
But that's fine because they're also incompetent.
And the new Rey movie, of course. She's going to be the greatest savior of the universe. Because she's
Rey.
Rey.
Yeah, because, Luke tried to rebuild the Jedi Order and failed miserably.
But this woman, who is strong and capable, will succeed where he failed.
That's right.
Of course.
And do it better.
I have to complain. They couldn't find a woman of color. I'm just saying. Assholes.
She's not even Asian.
Not to correct you, but the correct term is Chinese. They couldn't find a Chinese woman. Some kind of Chinese. Anyway, so I liked it. It's fine.
It was fine.
The Mandalorian used to be great.
Yes.
And now it's fine.
They kind of ended it with just the two of them. They spent all this time, we were going to retake Mandalore. And then we did. It was a big battle. Hooray! We have taken back our home planet. Din, would you like to live here? No. You look around. I'm out of here. And so he leaves.
The only thing that was kind of neat, I'm torn. Part of me is hoping they don't do another season. Like Ben Kenobi.
You just stop it.
You did it. You didn't completely fuck it up. It wasn't great, but it wasn't a catastrophe. Don't roll the dice again. Part of me feels the same way about this.
Yeah, you've reached this third season where it's like, oh, stop, because you started out so great, and then
right. If it continues on that trajectory, you're going to taint the entire project. But they ended it going full circle.
Yes,
where again it's a lone gunslinger living on his home out on the range, and he occasionally does grunt work for the government when he has to.
So if they do a season 4 and they're going to take it back to the season 1 premise of just him and Grogu having weekly adventures,
maybe.
Then that might not be bad.
That might not be a bad. But again, the other part of me is like, don't risk it again. Don't taint. Because right now, if they just stop 5 years from now, remember The Mandalorian? Oh yeah, God, that was fucking out. That first season was incredible. What about 2 and 3? Yeah, 2 and 3 were fine, but season 1 was incredible. Just leave it there. If you fuck up another season, 10 years from now, remember The Mandalorian?
Oh, that was garbage. I hated that.
It had such potential. It started off so great, and then they just shit the bed. I don't want that to be the memory of this.
I hate to think that it's going to go in that direction. Let's just say that I don't have a lot of faith that it's not
Nor do
go
I.
in that direction.
Nor do I, because they've brought in just bullshit people that don't know anything about Star Wars. And they've completely changed so much. They've completely changed so much. And as much as we complained about George Lucas fucking up Star Wars,
it is nothing compared to what J.J. Abrams has done, and Disney, and I mean, it hurts.
Fuck me. I love it. I'm always gonna love it.
Well, sure, it's Star Wars, and they're when they're doing lasers and spaceships and lightsabers, and of course, I'm gonna watch it. But damn it, I wanted something a lot better than this. I feel like we deserved something a lot better than this.
Well, again, it wasn't bad.
No,
but it was definitely on the downslope, and that's sad. It's okay.
It doesn't give me a whole lot of hope for Ahsoka, but we shall see.
Well, that's the thing, because they started writing the script with a finale in mind, which is okay. It's fine, but it makes it predictable.
Yeah, and you end up with something that's story-driven instead of character-driven, because you started with an ending, and everything you build from there has to involve the story and not the characters.
So, I don't know. I'm interested to see where they go with it, but I don't know. Whatever.
We'll see. You know what you need to do is you need to go down to the comments. You got to let us know if you saw it and if you liked it, if you hated it, all that kind of jazz. And if you even care, do you want another season of this?
So what's our next show then? It's going to be Ahsoka or Skeleton Crew?
I don't even know what the hell Skeleton Crew is. I think it's Ahsoka. I think Ahsoka's next. That's the only one I've seen trailers for.
Okay.
So I think that's next.
It's not the New Republic one. I know that's like farther down. So.
And there's another...
Or not the Old Republic.
There's another Star Wars Visions coming.
Fuck off. Shit, that was garbage.
And I have no idea what Marvel's up to. I guess they've got a few movies. Oh, they've got a Guardians of the Galaxy movie coming out. So there's that. But I have no idea what's new for Disney+.
Here you go.
It's probably some bullshit.
It's undoubtedly some bullshit.
All right. Comment, subscribe, like, all that jazz.
All that jazz.
We'll see you later.